Get pause YouTube, 6fthax here. Have for you guys today another Wi-Fi battle, and this time it is going to be in Ubers against my very good friend Rich, aka InertFury. Now, of course, if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to hammer the like button down below and to answer the question of the day, guys. Thank you to everybody for liking and for commenting. Of course, if you do want to see more content, feel free to subscribe if you have not done so already. Now, I haven't played Ubers in a couple of weeks, and Ubers is all that Rich really plays. So going into this match, I already felt like I had an uphill battle. Not to mention that Mega Lucario is a humongous threat to this team. So I definitely am going to have to watch out for that. As he ends up leading off with his Bronzong, I'm going to be leading off with my Primal Groudon. Now, this is not my team. This is the team I got off of the Smogon thread, just because, as I said, I haven't played Ubers in a while. And unfortunately, this Groudon does not carry a Fire-type move. So I am going to be forced to switch out here into my Lunala, as he's going to end up going for the Stealth Rocks. Now, I am a modest choice specs Lunala, so anything that Rich is going to switch in here is going to cleanly be O-code or 2A KO'd, as he ends up switching into his Arceus Fairy. This is going to do a clean 51%, which is insane because Arceus is easily one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the Ubers tier. Now, because Arceus tend to carry speed EVs, I'm pretty sure that he's going to be able to outspeed me and just recover off the damage. So predicting him to go for the recover here, I'm going to switch back into my Groudon because I can try and take this opportunity to go ahead and get on my Stealth Rocks. Not really too worried about what this Arceus is going to do to me, except for the fact that he has Toxic. Now, the couple Ubers games that I did play back in early Sun and Moon, I did not run into a single one that carried Toxic, so this did kind of catch me off guard because I expected him just to have Will-O-Wisp like normal Arceus would have, but the fact that he has Toxic does kind of suck because this is going to limit the usage of my Primal Groudon. So expecting him to want to stay in here just to whittle me down, I'm going to go for the Thunder Wave, as he actually ends up switching out into his Zygarde here, which unfortunately for Rich is incorrectly made because it has Aura Break instead of Power Construct. For those of you who don't know, Power Construct Zygarde is like a humongous threat in the Ubers tier. Either way though, Zygarde still has some very good natural bulk, so this thing is still going to be a bit of a pain to try and take down. As I switch it to my own Arceus, which is Arceus Dark, he ends up going for the 1000 arrows, and I have Will-O-Wisp on my Arceus. So this is actually pretty good for me because now I'm not going to be taking as much damage from the physical moves coming from this Zygarde, as he unfortunately turns out to have the Dragon Tail. And as long as he doesn't Dragon Tail me into my Ho-Oh, then we should be good here. The best case scenario for me was that he can Dragon Tail me into my Kyurem White, which, much like Lunala, should be able to pick up a KO or a potential 2A KO on whatever he decides to switch in on it, or if he does leave in the Zygarde that's going to get nuked by a Draco or an Ice Beam. So he Dragon Tails me into my Groudon of all things, which does kind of suck, and I'm going to switch out here back into my Arceus on the off chance that he did just go for the 1000 arrows, as he does do so here. This is really good for me because now I'm in a position of where I can either go for the recover or I can try and go for the defog, and I expected him to predict me to defog here, which is why I actually go for the recover on the off chance that he did just want to go for the 1000 arrows. That way he wouldn't have to waste a Dragon Tail, but he ends up having the rest, which I was not expecting at all. And this is actually really annoying because, like I said, even regular Zygarde has really good bulk. So I need to find some way to beat this down, or hopefully it can Dragon Tail me into my Kyurem White. So he is going to end up taking the judgment pretty well, as he not only pulls the Dragon Tail, but out of my 5 other Pokemon on my team, he Dragon Tails me into my damn Ho-Oh. And this was just really annoying because that was a really lucky turn on his part, but I mean, hey, it's part of the game, so nothing I can do about it there. As he pulls another Dragon Tail, he does get a little bit unlucky this time, and he misses, which is really good for me because I'm going to be able to Brave Bird him here and wear him down. Unfortunately, unless I'm able to defog even after Regenerator, Ho-Oh is probably going to be knocked out by the Stealth Rocks. So on the off chance that he did predict me to switch out here, I do try and stay in and go for the Roost, but he ends up going for the 1000 arrows able to easily knock me out, I can now bring in my Arceus Dark, which will be able to knock out the Zygarde at this amount of HP, but he's actually going to end up switching out here, trying to save his Zygarde for later for Death Fodder most likely, as he does end up switching into his Arceus Fairy. Obviously, Fairy is super effective against Dark, so there's really no reason for me to stay in here, and my only real switch into this Arceus at this point is going to be my Magearna, and because Rich knows this, he is going to pull a double switch into his Zygarde, which puts me in a bit of a tough scenario because I can either stay in here predicting him to go for the rest, or I can switch out risking him going for the Dragon Tail and just constantly racking up damage on my team. So ultimately I decided to make the aggressive play of staying in and going for the Floral Cannon as he goes for the 1,000 arrows. Doesn't do as much damage as I actually thought it would do, but it still did over 50%, which kind of sucks as I'm able to knock him out with the Floral Cannon. And the reason why I did go for that was because that's the only offensive move on this Magearna. Like I said, this isn't my team, but yeah, that was the only offensive move that I had to be able to hit the Zygarde with, as he's going to be able to bring in this giant threat, which is Mega Lucario. For those of you who played early X and Y OU, you will know just how devastatingly powerful Mega Lucario can be, and even in Ubers, this thing can be a huge threat. As he's going to go for the Iron Tail, he ends up getting a crit. That crit did not matter at all because Mega Lucario does have access to adaptability, which boosts its stabbed moves, as I can now get a free switch into my Lunala. I'm pretty sure that there's nothing this Lucario can do to me, and much like earlier, I should be able to OHKO or 2KO anything that Rich wants to switch in. As he's going to bring in the Bronzong, I will be able to clean knock this out. And can I just say, the animation for Moonguy's Beam has got to be like top 5 move animations ever, because I think it looks absolutely amazing. So back comes the Arceus, which is a little problematic because, like I said, he most likely is faster than me. As you see here, he does end up outspeeding me, and then he's gonna end up getting a crit, but it's okay because I'm going to pay him back, and in return I'm going to crit him. My Lunala was not having any of that shenanigan, and I'm able to put down his Arceus, which is one less thing for me to worry about. However, though, he does still have this Lucario, which can easily come in here, and I honestly have no switching to this monster, so I'm gonna leave in my Lunala here for Death Fodder, or maybe there was a possibility I could outspeed him or live any hit that he wanted to go for, as he is able to knock me out. I know it's a little bit odd that I bring in my Arceus here, but the reason why I did this is because this is a pretty speedy Arceus, and I should be able to outspeed Mega Lucario and burn it before he's able to close combat me, and then that way I may have a chance to live a close combat, but mostly I wanted to burn him so my Kyurem White wouldn't take as much damage from the Bullet Punch later in this match. But he is going to end up switching out into his Groudon here, knowing that I wouldn't go for the Judgment, obviously, because that is resisted by Mega Lucario, and I'm gonna try and Judgment here in hopes that I could be able to 2KO him or prevent him from trying to set up on me, as he's going to go for the Fire Punch. Much to my surprise, this straight ends up knocking me out, and he told me later that he was the Adamant double dance set with Rock Polish, so Fire Punch was able to knock me out there. I could have gone for the recover, and then maybe I would have been able to live another one, but I mean, I think still going for Judgment was the better play for me to do, because here I can bring in my Kyurem White, Mr. White, and I will be able to go for the Draco Meteor and knock out this Groudon, because I'm pretty positive he's not going to risk me knocking out one of his other mons when he can just get a free switch back into something else. As I am able to knock out the Groudon, this does give him a free switch back into Mega Lucario, and I'm in a pretty tough spot because I can't really switch anything into this, so I'm gonna stay in hopes that he maybe over predicts here and tries to go for a Swords Dance, but no, he Bullet Punches, as I am able to live. My only hope to knock out this Lucario is going to be able to get a crit, and I do get that crit, which is really good because I still have a chance to win this battle. If I can crit his Lunala, which is gonna have its ability broken because of Stealth Rocks, I can potentially pull out the victory here. So I'm going to go for one final Draco Meteor. If I don't crit here, then I just lose to this Lunala. Here's the moment of truth, and unfortunately I do not get the crit, as he's going to be able to knock me out with the Moonguy's Beam. At this point, my last Pokemon on my team is my Primal Groudon, which after rocks and a toxic damage has just been really worn down, and there's no way that I'm gonna be able to live a Moongeist Beam at this point. So that is going to be the victory in Rich's favor. After all that, man, I still was able to come so close to winning. Either way though, still had a blast with this battle. I really did like using Uber Pokemon on Wi-Fi. So of course guys, if you do enjoy the video, make sure to hammer the like button down below, and to answer the question of the day, which is gonna pop up right after this. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, and if you haven't subscribed already and you would like to see more content, feel free to subscribe. With that being said guys, I will see you all tomorrow, so thank you all for watching. Later everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in the knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping.